This is The Great Expanse by John Bat 426 here on YouTube. And I'm so glad you guys have liked the videos that you've seen thus far. Hit the dislike button if you dislike them. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. All so the next video that drops new on this channel, you'll know about it second, and I'll know about it first. One breath. Again, I like to get my advertisements and my marketing of the channel out of the way as quickly as possible because you see that on every YouTube channel you go to, okay? Click subscribe. Okay, so that's it, all right? This news got me out of bed, literally, and it's not the news that I really wanted, but it's the news, so I have to give it to you guys. Wonder Woman 3, Man of Steel 2, canceled. As DC reshapes future, Jason Momoa to be recast as Lobo. Report. So this is all on the table. This is all the result of James Gunn and Peter Saffran being set up as the heads, as the cornerstones of future DC films. Okay, it was changed from DC Studios to DC Films. Okay. In a major shakeup, Warner Brothers is looking to cancel Wonder Woman 3, Man of Steel 2, and the Aquaman series. I also heard that, in addition, Zachary Levi is out as Shazam. So, major shakeups here. And again, we'll chew the fat afterwards. As I said, the website is The Indian Express, and this article is by Entertainment Desk. Alright. New DC CEOs James Gunn and Peter Saffran are looking to shake things up in a big way as they map out the future of the troubled DC Extended Universe. The biggest moves, according to The Hollywood Reporter article, is axing the already announced Wonder Woman 3, canceling a follow-up to Man of Steel, and ending the Aquaman series after next year's second film. Basically, Gunn and Saffran are aiming to conclude the DCEU as established by director Zack Snyder a decade ago. This will probably include recasting the main characters. While Warner Brothers was already trying hard to distance themselves from Snyder's dark vision for the franchise with the more colorful Aquaman movies, Shazam, and Birds of Prey, most films retained the core cast that Snyder had set up. According to THR, The Hollywood Reporter, Saffran and Gunn let Wonder Woman director and star Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot know last week that the film isn't going to be a part of the vision for the future. This was after Jenkins turned out a story outline for the third movie. Last week, Gadot posted an unprompted tweet thanking fans for their support for Wonder Woman and promised a movie that they'd all enjoy. I'm going to read the tweet, okay? From Gal Gadot. A few years ago, it was announced that I was going to play Wonder Woman. I've been so grateful for the opportunity to play such an incredible, iconic character, and more than anything, I'm grateful for you, the fans. Can't wait to share her next chapter with you. Okay? Similarly, Dwayne Johnson posted a tweet disputing reports that his recent film Black Adam had lost Warner Brothers over $50 million. According to THR, WB isn't moving forward with a Black Adam sequel either. But Johnson continues to suggest that the film successfully laid the groundwork for a new era in the franchise. So you have conflicting reports here. $7 is capping, and Warner Brothers Discovery is saying something else. So I'm going to go with Warner Brothers Discovery because they own the company. All right. Johnson left no stone unturned in promoting Black Adam, which is tanking with less than $400 million globally against a reported budget of $200 million. The THR report suggests that the figure could be even higher, and was marketed with the promise of setting up a future face-off between Black Adam and Superman. Henry Cavill, who had sat out the franchise for years, was brought back for a cameo, and later confirmed that he's returning as the character. But The Hollywood Reporter said that while WB initiated talks for Man of Steel 2, it's probably going to go back on their decision to proceed with the film. Now let's read Dwayne Johnson's tweet. Waited to confirm with financiers before I shared this excellent Black Adam news. Our film will profit between $52 million and $72 million. Fact. At almost $400 million worldwide, we are building our new franchise step by step. First Captain America did $370 million for the DC future. Man, Warner Brothers is just a mess. And unfortunately, DC is just caught up in the middle of it. The one series that Gunn and Saffran aren't touching is director Matt Reeves' The Batman, which has spin-off series and sequel films in development. But this series falls outside the ambit of the DCEU, as does director Todd Phillips' Joker, which is about to get a sequel. Aquaman star Jason Momoa will likely be recast as the character Lobo going forward, THR said. Momoa recently shared a video expressing excitement about landing a role that he had long been eyeing, and Gunn recently posted a picture of Lobo on Twitter. Gunn and Saffran are expected to present their plans to Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav within a week, by which time fans will probably have a clearer idea of where the DCEU is headed. That is not the news I wanted. Again, I'm not somebody that hates change, but to me, the DCEU doesn't feel it's been around long enough. I mean, we had Man of Steel, we had Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, we had Justice League, theatrical release, and then I think in the same year we had Wonder Woman and Aquaman, which I thought were very good films. Then, after Aquaman, people were clamoring for the Zack Snyder Justice League. So then we got Wonder Woman 1984, and then we had Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay, so that's 7 films. Now, it just doesn't. I don't feel like I had enough time, to marinate with these characters. Oh, I'm sorry. Then we had Black Adam. Okay, and I just think like a lot of times reboots are just really just a cheap way of saying, "Hey, we messed up. Let's start over." And you've really got to have your finger on the button or on the pulse of what the fans want. Obviously, there was turmoil with Zack Snyder. A lot of people didn't like his stuff, but it was what was established, and I just really loved, and I really thought that Zack Snyder's Justice League, the movie, was epic. Now, I had no idea that the fandom for the Snyderverse was so toxic. I do not like toxic. I stand by what I appreciate, but I do not become toxic saying, well, if I'm not getting Zack Snyder's version, I don't want any version. And just being like a troll, like that is stupidity. Fans that do that, please go vanish somewhere, please. Oh, I didn't have the Infinity going on. Wrong franchise too, but I like Jason Momoa's Aquaman, but obviously he would play a better Lobo because he just acts like Lobo just naturally. He's kind of zany. And one thing I noticed about the Aquaman series, they sort of juxtaposed, another great word here on The Great Expanse by John Bat 426, but they juxtaposed the appearances of Ocean Master and Aquaman. In the traditional sense, Aquaman is the blonde and Ocean Master is the dark-haired one. So Jason Momoa is the dark-haired one, and Ocean Master, played by Patrick Wilson, is the blonde. So Patrick Wilson will probably play a great Aquaman just because of his look, if they're going for a traditional Aquaman look. All right. I'm shocked that Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is not going forward. But to be totally honest with you, Wonder Woman 1984, and I'll just give a little recap of that movie and what I thought of it, was horrible. I'm sorry, but Wonder Woman 1984 should have been called Diana Prince 1984. It was just really brainless to me. Wonder Woman was barely in the movie. That's why I said it should have been called Diana Prince 1984. There was no reason for it to even be in the 80s. It should not have been a period piece. And was it Maxwell Lord, I believe his name was? That end scene was just somebody on acid and coke at the same time. When he's like broadcasting and his hair is just going, everything that I want will come true and the world will go into chaos. Whack. Not wacky. In other words, like a sort of left field tone, but just corny. Terrible. This stone, that was just garbage. I'm sorry. Wonder Woman 1984 was garbage. But I really like Jason Momoa's Aquaman. I love Yahya Mateen as Black Manta. Maybe Yahya got wind of this early, and that's why he's going to be playing Wonder Man in the MCU. But now the MCU is having trouble too. And this just goes to show that I believe this is pushback from the audience. That you can't just throw together something and just present it to the fans and say, hey, this is Spidey. Hey, this is Doctor Strange. I'm not saying those franchises are in trouble. They're doing fine. Again, I'm not a fan of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but it's a success, and a lot of people like it. I love Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, even though I wasn't a fan of the multiverse of madness. So I just threw those names out for an example. Okay, but DCEU, again, I don't feel like I had enough time to marinate. And of course, I love the portrayal of Darkseid. I love Desaad. I love Steppenwolf. And now that's kind of being wiped away. And everything is just being set aside for studio changes. And I had high hopes for James Gunn and Peter Saffran coming aboard. And clearly, the DCEU had a very rocky relationship with the fans and with Warner Brothers themselves. And especially with Ezra Miller and all of their issues. Like, what's going to happen with Ray Fisher's Cyborg? I could have done away with Harry Lennox's Martian Manhunter. That wasn't somebody I was holding on to. But at least Matt Reeves' The Batman is going full steam ahead, it seems like. And obviously the Penguin series that's coming to HBO Max starring Colin Farrell seems like it's going ahead. But you never know. And to be totally honest with you, James Gunn and Peter Saffran may make this presentation to David Zaslav next week, and David Zaslav might say, nah, we're not doing that. That's still a possibility. He could say that. But it's not likely. All right, because James Gunn and Peter Saffran are the CEOs of DC Films. James Gunn, Peter Saffran, these better be home runs. You know what I mean? Now, Jason Momoa as Lobo sounds amazing. Okay, but whoever you get to recast as a current continuity Batman, current continuity Superman, they better be home runs. Oh, I'm sorry, and Aquaman, and I don't know if Gal Gadot is totally out as Wonder Woman or if the Wonder Woman 3 that was presented was scrapped. Okay. Oh, all right. Quick note. After I saw Wonder Woman 1984. I think people were going, about Patty Jenkins' direction, because that movie was horribly directed. Again, I hate to harp on it, but Pedro Pascal is an awesome actor. But this role was just I can't even think of an appropriate word for how whack it was. What's her name? Kristen Vid? Is that her name? Kristen Wiig. I'm sorry. Kristen Wiig's Cheetah should not have even been in the movie. She was just thrown in, and this one was a runaway freight train, 1984, and it was horrible. All right. But DCEU, get things together. James Gunn, Peter Saffran, you got a lot on your plate. But I do believe you guys can pull it out. All right. This has been The Great Expanse by John Bat 426 here on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel, tell a friend to tell a friend, and then tell that friend that told the other friend to tell other friends. You get it? All right? And let's get The Great Expanse by John Bat 426 expanding. And please, comment, what are your thoughts on DC's future? Should they have stuck with the Snyderverse? I gave you my thoughts. But let me know what your thoughts are. All right? And David Brent, let them know where to put their comments. Put some comments right there. All right? So that The Great Expanse by John Bat 426 here on YouTube can expand. It's in the name. And on a final note, it looks like we won't know what Darkseid is bringing to Earth.